There you go.
Okay, I'll make this quick, guys. Welcome, and happy Wednesday. Glad you're here. Got a lot to cover. First thing I want to share with you is I want to talk about the capital campaign. We're in the process of wrapping it up, hopefully by the end of April. We have just crested over our $1.1 million toward our $1.2 million goal. And I've got to ask of you. So as we're wrapping up this campaign, in July, we are going to be showing the world not only that we met the goal, we exceeded the goal, and we're going to be listing out every person that supported the campaign. What I would like to show is that everybody, all the Friends Homes residents, supported this campaign. So I'm not here to ask you for a dollar amount. I'm just asking you for your support. So if you make a contribution to the campaign, and remember, you can support the bridge, you can support the financial assistance endowment, or you can put it all to one or the other, whatever you want to do. But I want to see your names, because when we promote this to the world, I want them to see that we had full support from our residents behind this program. So thank you for those that have supported. Thank you for those that are willing to consider a gift to the campaign. I want to talk a little bit about staffing. You know, over the last 2 years, we've lost some really good staff for a variety of reasons. But we've also hired some really good staff. And I want to thank y'all for y'all's continued patience, for your willingness to have an open heart as we welcome you people to our family and show them the way. How many of y'all remember Jordan Connor, a young man that was in our maintenance department? You remember Jordan? Some of you do. Good guy, right? Well, he was one of those people that was taken away from us because of the grass is greener. Come work at the city of High Point. Oh, it's great. And he went there, and guess what he found out? It's not really that green. Kind of smelly too, you know? I'm going to come back. So he says, I want to come back to Friends Homes. So I'd like to say our prodigal son has returned, and we met him and welcomed him with open arms. He is not at Guilford. He's at West, but he's at Friends Homes, and we're very happy about that. So he started a couple weeks ago, and he has already hit the ground running, and so we're glad to have Jordan back. As you know, Charlie Belinsky, our concierge, resigned 2 weeks ago, and so we are actively pursuing filling that role. Actually, have an internal candidate I just found out about from West, which is interesting. Great person. But anyway, but if that doesn't work out, we're going to go outside to see if we can find somebody. But the goal is to have that role filled within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Right now, I want to give a shout out to all of your patients. But Courtney, how many of y'all met Courtney Johnson? She's our new receptionist down on the first floor, Woolman. So Courtney's taking work orders right now, and Courtney, I've been very impressed with her. She's got a great personality, very warm. I think she comes from
Archdale.
Yeah, I know Archdale, but children's homes, maybe? I'm gonna say that.
Sounds good.
Let's say that. It sounds good. Feels good. So if you had a chance to meet Courtney, say hello to Courtney. But she's helping us until we get the concierge role filled, which again, hopefully be in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We're actively looking for a director of maintenance. Hope to have that role filled for Friends Homes at the end of May. And I am excited to announce that we have named Teresa Cruz as our new independent living clinic nurse. So if you do not know Teresa, shame on you. Because even if you don't need Teresa, she is a beautiful person. And my nose is running a little bit. Don't have tissue. She's a beautiful person. She's got the best heart, and she has already done so much for us in past couple weeks. Is it used?
No,
It's a baby wipe?
wipe.
It's kind of weird. Okay. Different. Anyway, but that is, I don't know if it's official yet. She knows about it. So you can say congratulations. I think it'll go out in the polls tomorrow. But we're very excited about that, and excited.
She is Teresa Cruz, not Teresa Cobb.
Yeah, so I will share this with you. So Teresa Cruz, not Teresa Cox. Teresa shared with us she does not need you calling her, telling her all of your issues. Some of them are very personal. She says, "Oh, that's Teresa," so she forwards it. So please make sure when you call, you're calling Teresa Cruz, not Teresa Cox. We also have hired a full-time recruiter, and we actually stole this idea from River Landing. What we found out in today's world for staff recruiting is that literally, especially with the millennials, if you do not call them back within minutes or hours, they're gone. They're gone. And our current HR department, we have 400 employees, and between helping them with employee issues, insurance, you name it, sometimes it was a day, 2 days before we call them back, and like, wait, what? I'm gone. I've got somewhere else. So River Landing about 9 months ago hired a full-time recruiter. It's been life-changing. So we have a person, I'm sorry I don't know her name, but she starts next week, and I look forward to meeting her. But I think she's going to be tremendous in helping us get good, qualified candidates in here, and then it's up to us to keep them. So very excited about that. And I'm also excited to share that we have hired our Associate Executive Director for Independent Living. So his name is Matt Beam. Matt Beam. He is from Cherryville, or as he likes to say, Cherryville. And actually I've already found someone, well, Susie, I think she's related to him. She found out she's got a cousin in Cherryville. Bob Gobble West has family from there. But so let me tell you a little bit about Matt Beam. Matt Beam is a young buck. We're not supposed to ask age, but I think he's probably in his mid-30s. And when we were interviewing for the Missy's role 5 years ago, that Missy ended up getting the job, Matt was one of the candidates, and we loved him. We loved him. He's passionate, he's smart, he's articulate, he has a lot going on for him. But he did not have a lot of work experience. He was fairly new to the game. And we told him, we said, Matt, we love you. We just wish you had some more experience. Sorry. And we hired Missy. And Missy was a great hire. She did a lot of great things for us. Well, when we put the ad out for this new role, guess who came a knocking? Matt called us. He says, do you remember me? I'm back. And guess what? I've got experience. He has been at Lutheran Services, which is a retirement community. He's been working in Salisbury for 5 years, commuting 50 minutes each way every day. He has been working over their healthcare center and has been groomed for this role that we actually were applying for. He was going to be taking over their independent living probably next year when their person retires. So Matt came to us in mid-January. We interviewed him. We loved him. Nothing's changed. He's got great experience. He's got great ideas, great thoughts. You will love him. We said, but Matt, this is an important role. We've got to go through the process. So we did. We did a national search. Talked to a lot of different people, somewhere between 10 and 13 pretty serious candidates, men, women, old, young, in between. But at the end of the day, we kept coming back to Matt. So we put Matt through the ringer, about 5 different interviews. We put him before the leadership team, put him before the officers of the resident board here at Guilford and West. He did very well there. We made him an offer last Friday, and he accepted Monday night. So he will be joining us on Friday, May the 6th, is when he will be coming to Friends Homes, and he lives literally 4 minutes away. He lives right down Horsepin Creek Road. He is married. His wife is from Greensboro. I think she's a therapist. He's got 2 kids, maybe a 5-year-old and a 2 or 3-year-old, and I think 2 dogs, if I remember correctly. Loves to play the guitar. Good person. So I look forward to getting him in front of you so you can meet him. But with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about some office moves because of this. So before I get to that, let me share with you Donna Sprinkle. So Donna Sprinkle is the Associate Executive Director for Friends Homes West. And as I told you before, when Missy left, we did an org chart change. So what we're doing now is when Donna comes back, she's on surgery, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. When Donna comes back, Donna is going to be overseeing our health care for Friends Homes, all of Friends Homes, assisted living, skilled nursing. She's responsible for it. The position we hired Matt for is for independent living for Friends Homes, West and Guilford. Sorry, I have a tickle. So what we're going to do is I am going to move my office here on the Guilford campus. Matt is going to be moving into my office when he starts here. I'm going to be moving in the business office. So I'm going to still be on the same hallway. I'm just going to be off the beaten path, if you will. Over on the Guilford campus, the West campus, Matt is going to have an office there as well. at both campuses, he's going to have a strong, strong right hand. His strong right hand for the Guilford campus is our own Susie Hudson. So what's interesting, for those, you'll get what I'm getting ready to say. When I talk to young people, they don't get this. How many of y'all remember Radar from MASH, right? You're right, you remember that. You talk to a young person, they're like, what, who, Radar? MASH, what's MASH? Okay, so Susie, I am. Susie is our new Radar. So Susie, remember how Radar was when the colonel turns around and there's Radar going, here you go, or I already know about it. What I want you to do and know when you think about Susie, Susie's wonderful, but Susie's primary job is going to keep Matt up to date of what's going on at this community. Because as Matt's going back and forth between West and Guilford, we've got Susie here, we have Susie's counterpart over West named Linda Bradshaw. These two ladies are going to keep his head grounded, but keep him in tune of what is going on. I am moving my office because I want you to embrace Matt and give him an opportunity to get to know you, but also spend time, because his primary focus is independent living. He has no component with healthcare. Missy and Donna, they have both components. And I'm going to tell you, healthcare draws a lot of our time. All Matt is concerned about is independent living. Okay? So I want you to have the opportunity to get to know Matt, spend time with him, and we're actually going to move Susie's office, and she's going to go into Missy's old office. So they're going to be a tag team. So Matt and Susie, a dynamic duo. All right? So we're very excited about that. So I think, Susie, you'll probably be moving in 2 or 3 weeks. And then, and I'll already be moving first part of May. So very excited about having Matt on board. So hopefully you'll welcome him. We'll do a meet and greet, maybe even that Friday, to be honest with you. So I'll talk to y'all about that. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about rumor mills. You know I love them. You know I love them. So one thing I'll share with you, if you're fairly new to Friends Homes, if there's not something we do a lot, is we talk a lot. And sometimes we talk about things that happen years from now. And one of the things I've had several of y'all share with me is, you want to talk about 3 months, 6 months, I just want to know what's going on tomorrow. But that's not my job. My job is to talk about Friends Homes, where we are, where we're going, to give you an idea of the future, the vision. And the reason why I share this with you is because we're here because of the men and women that came before us. We're on their backs. I want to know, is Friends Homes going in the right direction? So when I talk about something coming down the pathway, whether it's 6 months from now, I want you to be part of that, but I also want your feedback because you are living here. Does this make sense to you? So with that being said, when I talk about the rumor mill, almost everything that happens, because sometimes we do mess up, believe it or not, we try to either announce it in our chats, announce it at resident council, resident board, or committees. Hopefully there's no surprises. So hear me clearly. There are no plans for us to move any physical equipment to the West Campus when the Wellness Center opens. There are no plans for us to move any programming to the Wellness Center when the campus, the bridge opens, when the Wellness Center opens. There are no plans for us to move any clinic services to the Wellness Center when it opens. There are no plans. All right. Here's what I know as of today. The whole reason we built the Wellness Center was not to take away from the Guilford campus, was an enhancement to what we already have. If we could have started on the Guilford campus first, we would have, right? We cannot. So we started where we had land. We started where we had an opportunity. That's where we started. So the Wellness Center is not only for West, it's for Guilford, it's also for our staff. So there are no plans to change anything. I think it was Jane. Is Jane in here? She usually sits in the back. She hides from me. There she is. She's there. So the last chat, I think it was you. I blame you anyway. She raised her hand. She said, Arnie, are you moving the clinic over to the Wellness Center? And I went, Jane, why did you ask me that question? Do you remember that? I remember that. Oh, you remember. And I was like, Jane, why'd you ask that? And I said, we have not talked about it. It is not in our plans, but I'm going to answer the question. The thing is that my gut says, because we got vendor partners, and if you don't know anything what's going on in the world, things are consolidating. People are coming together and they're telling us what they're going to do. It's no more we tell them what they're going to do. They tell us, this is what I'm going to do. Do I think our vendor partners are going to say at some point, I'm not going to 2 places, I'm going to 1 place, or we're only going to come on Monday, not Monday, Tuesday. That's where it's going, but that's not where it is today. So today there are no plans. There are no plans, okay? So the goal is for you to understand that where we are today, when that wellness center opens, when that bridge opens, is not for you to have to lose something here that you're going to have to go there. It's for you to say, I've got additional opportunities and enhancements. Now I do know, because I got some good feedback from residents, because y'all do give me good feedback, is where I think I could have caused some confusion is when I talked about utilization of services. And I don't know if I said this in here or not, but I'm going to use it as an example. Teresa, how much do we pay for our yoga instructor? $105 an hour? 110, something like that?
Yeah.
She's great. She's great. She's great. $100. If I've got 3 people attending a $100 session, I'm here to tell you, that ain't gonna fly. Because we have an X amount of money that we want to spend on programming, and we want to make sure that we are getting the most bang for our buck. So if I'm paying $100 for 3 residents, where I could do something to get 10 or 15 or 20, we're gonna talk about it. So that's where I may have lost some people when they say, oh, we're gonna move things. All I'm saying is, if we've got certain programming going on here, and I've got great participation, and we're paying the same thing over there, only 2 people show up, we may stop showing that program over there and say, we'll bring you over here. Because we're not gonna pay $300, $500 when we're not getting the same participation. If y'all use both places, great. But we wanna be good stewards of your resources, okay? So I apologize if I caused some confusion on that, but right now there are no plans to change anything other than, hopefully, to enhance. With that being said, I wanna talk about transportation. One of the things we are planning on doing is offering 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day, transportation services back and forth between both campuses. The concept is this is like an on-call service. We do not want to have just a vehicle going back and forth. That's not good use of resources, not good use for the environment. So we want to have an on-call service. So we're working on what that looks like, feels like, how it would work. We're working on accessibility issues. Because even if you're in independent living, you may have some issues whether you're on a walker or being able to get on a bus. So we're looking at different types of vehicles that can be functional. So our goal is to have that transportation up and running by July. Okay, August, July. But it could be a little sooner, but right now it's July and August. The last thing I'm gonna say about West is that we're still on go for the hub opening in mid-June, but we are going to be doing an open house and a little orientation at the end of May. So the dining team is working on prioritizing, or alphabetizing, I should say, West and Guilford residents, and you will get an invite on when you can come, check out the hub. I think they're going to serve food, that's my understanding, but understand how the programming works, the menus and everything else. But we're going to have West and Guilford coming over a period of like 5 to 8 days. So you can get oriented, know how it works. So stay tuned for that, but it's still going to open mid-June. Dining room, we're still going to go for mid-August. All right, so let's talk about some additional stuff for Friends Homes and Friends Homes Guilford. So is Charlie in here? Charlie Ruth? All right, well, let me give a kudos or shout out to Charlie Ruth. Charlie Ruth got me an appointment with Tom Wright. Tom and I sat down. Tom is the chair of the Cemetery Association. And so Tom Wright and I met 2 Fridays ago. I won't say 2 Fridays ago. And we worked out an agreement verbally. So we're not going to lease all 4 acres of land. Remember, my biggest concern was liability. They wanted us to lease 4 acres and be responsible for everybody and their brother. I'm not doing that. What we agreed to is that we have, just like everybody else, has access to plant flowers, walk the trails, but we're going to lease a certain area of the property, primarily where our walking path is, the boardwalk and things like that. That's going to be our area of responsibility from a liability standpoint, and what Friends Homes will maintain, trees and everything else. Everything else will be just like other people, pedestrian, public can use it to their benefit. So we're going to get I got to get with the grounds committee, and we're going to kind of mark off the area of disturbance, if you will. We'll get a surveyor out here to flag it and put the legal descriptor on it, and then we're going to sign a lease agreement. Lease agreement, I think, is going to be for 20 years with a out clause as long as they get 2 years notice or something like that. I'm not sure. But 20 years is good in today's world. So I hope to have that lease agreement finalized, I'm going to say by the end of fiscal year, which is September, but hopefully by end of June. We'll see how quickly that goes. But thank you for your patience on that. Electric car charging stations. So we are still working on getting that finalized. What we do know on this campus is we're looking at having 2 separate locations for electric car charging stations. Once we eventually close the entrance off Arcadia Drive, there's going to be a sidewalk there kind of going over to the Arcadia house. There's going to be some additional parking there. We're going to put a dual charging station there. And then we're going to put another dual charging station right behind me, facing the townhomes. There's a beautiful little PVC pipe that's sticking out of the ground. That's where that will go. And that will be a dual operator as well. It is not a fast charge. We did investigate a fast charge. It is not a fast charge. It is not what they call a trickle charge, where you just plug it up to 110. So it does do an expedited charging, but it's not the thing that you see promoted through Tesla. And we are going to contract out with a third party to maintain it. So when I say it's not free, you just don't plug up to it. I mean, there's a cost, but we don't want to maintain that, deal with it. We may in the future do something because we think it may be a better deal for the residents. But right now, it's still too new for us, and we've got some other things we're trying to deal with, so we will farm that out to a third party, at least initially. But hope to have those both installed by the end of the fiscal year. We did have our grounds contractor do a full assessment of our grounds, and they have identified both at West and Guilford some trees that are diseased and are dying that need to be removed. I don't know which ones they are, where they are, but it's going to be discussed, if it has not already been discussed, at the grounds committee. The reason why I want to go ahead and share this with you is, unlike in the past where we put this beautiful yellow ribbon around and residents go out and they take the yellow ribbon around, or they say, no, we don't want you to take that down. These are trees that are not really up for discussion. These trees have been identified by their arborists as either dying or diseased. And so once we know what they are, we'll talk to the grounds committee, we'll identify them, and they will be removed sometime within the next 3 to 6 months. But I just want y'all to hear that because I just heard about it. All right, I want to share some good news, and there's a couple of people in here that are residents but also serve on our board of trustees, and this is a safe place, so I don't want them to throw me under the bus, Nancy Glenn's. So I think I shared with you at our last chat that the board had asked us, as we did our increase, Friends Homes is financially secure. We are strong. We are rated by Fitch, BBB-, one of 8% of retirement communities in the United States. We are strong. But going into this fiscal year, we had a cash deficit because we did about $1 million worth of wage increases to our frontline staff. The board did not want us to pass that on to the residents, and they really put to management, find the money. And as I told you last month, the wellness center's coming online. We've had some delays in our construction, so we're not having a matching of revenue of new construction with our wellness center, which is causing a little bit more of a cash deficit. So the board said, hey, at being good stewards, we want you to tell us how could you find us these cash savings. So that's what management did. We found $1 million worth of cash savings, deferment, you name it. Impacts residents, impacts staff, impacts the community. So we presented that to the Finance and Executive Committee last Wednesday. It was a great open discussion, and I use that word strongly when I say great. It was, everybody participated, but the Finance and Executive Committee walked out of there with a recommendation that we do not do any of those recommendations to delay or defer the items that have been assigned or needed for our campuses, both from a resident standpoint and an employee standpoint. It's not a direct quote, but in essence, what the comment is, residents have been through a lot for these past 2 years. Staff have been through a lot for these last 2 years. We believe in where we are and where we're going. This is the time that we invest in who we are. We're doing it for the right reasons. Move forward, continue to be good stewards of our resources, but do not stop for momentum. The reason why I'm telling you I'm kind of ahead of myself, because technically, until the full board meets today at 4 o'clock, it's not approved. And so, although it's a recommendation from finance exec, the full board has to give final approval, which I'm very hopeful that they will, and then we'll carry on. Now, the reason I'm sharing that with you is because we have put a little bit of a delay on some things that hopefully we can speed back up. One of those was our internet. As you know, our internet is not great here, has not been great, and we are under a contract with Spectrum until next May. But we had contracted with another third-party company to put high-speed internet into our existing campus. I confirmed that if we get approval today from the full board, they still feel like they can have high-speed internet on the Guilford campus by August, September of this year throughout our entire campus. That's independent living, assisted, and skilled nursing. God bless you. God bless you. The thing I'll tell you was pretty cool if you're an IT or tech geek. I think I should, God bless you. I think I shared this before. Spectrum does a great job of marketing about how the 100 megs or 200 megs, but everybody shares. And that's kind of how we're set up now. You got these access points going down the hallway, and you and your neighbors are sharing the same bandwidth, which is not a problem unless your neighbors are doing a lot of surfing or whatever the terminologies they use. And you may get pixelation or people freezing up or kicked off. What this new company does, they give you individual bandwidth to each one of your pieces of software. So your phone, your iPad, your smart TVs, everything. So if you got 10 units, each one of those gets dedicated Wi-Fi service. So you're not competing with anybody else. It's yours. And here's the beautiful thing. When you walk around campus, like inside, and even if you decide to check out West and vice versa, if West comes over here, you're still in the same network. So you're not going to see 1,000 different things. It's your network. And if you've got any smart technology in your home, you can actually communicate back to that. So they always joke, if you got one of these wireless printers and you want to print something off, or you want to take a picture of something and send it, you can do that because you're going to have your own personal network throughout friends' homes. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So the goal is to have that up and running by August, September. The other thing we put a hold on, not knowing, is woman furniture for the living rooms. It's back on. It's back on. So I got to get with Susie because I did not work on that project, and so I need to make sure where we are on that. So we'll try to move forward on that. There's a multitude of other things that we kind of put on hiatus that we need to get wrapped back up, but we'll work on that. I do want to tell you that we found, and I think they're working on it today, we did finally find out we can turn our water fountains back on. I don't know about you, but I'm happy because, yeah, so our water fountains are being worked on, and they're purging it and cleaning up because they've been turned off for a little bit. So that's being worked on now. I was told by maintenance that we're almost done with the exhaust fans in Woman. Hopefully that'll be finished next week. So that should be wrapping up. And I feel like there's two other things I'd tell you. Okay. Home care. I need your help with something. So this has happened at both campuses. So there's still a lot of talk about we need home care here at Guilford. We need home care at West. And the concept of home care is you want somebody to be able to come into your apartment and provide certain types of medical services, which we technically cannot do today. We are not licensed to do that. Our clinic nurse, Teresa Cruz, not Teresa Cox, can provide certain services in the clinic for you. And at some point, again, I shared this, whether you want to do it or not, there'll be some additional services. Maybe they could be offered in the new wellness center, whether you want to use that or not, can be done. But right now we do not have a license. You can get home care services. It's just not with Friends Homes. You can go outside. There are a multitude of agencies that provide home care services. Here's the big thing I need you to hear me say. My gut says a lot of you don't want to do that for two primary reasons. One, it costs money. And two, there's a certain amount of hours that you have to contract to. 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it can be. What I've shared before, and I'll share again, is the board was very open with their strategic plan. They want us, management, to investigate additional services that we can provide to our independent living residents to keep them independent and to meet their needs. But they weren't specific, because we need to think even outside the box of home care, right? It could be a multitude of things. They want us to not have any barriers. So we are going to look at this. We're not going to look at it tomorrow. I'm not going to look at it in May. But we are going to look at it because the board is going to expect us to report back on it. We are going to do it. There are home care services available, but I want you to understand, my gut tells me we probably will not be able to have our own home care service that's a Friends Homes program. And here's the reason why. It takes money. Because even if we had a Friends Home Care service, we don't pay for that. You pay for that. You pay for it by using those services. And I've used this before. Wellspring has home care services. They provide sitters. They provide people that come in your home and help with medications, to help with wound management, diabetes, all these different things. It's private pay, and they generate about $3 million a year in revenue. I would dare say between West and Guilford, y'all probably spend $500,000 on outside third-party home care services. For us to bring it in here, we would have to have a certain amount of volume to cover the cost, which means you've got to ask for those services. So the services will not be free. They will be just as costly as probably the outside. The only thing we could probably help out with, we wouldn't have to require you to do the 4 hours or 3 hours, which could be very beneficial. One of the things we're going to look at, can we partner with somebody that already has home care services? So these are things we're going to be looking into. I think what I want you to hear me say is, if you need those services, please do not wait on us to figure out whether or not what we can do here. It's not worth it. Go outside, talk to Teresa Cruz. She can give you some recommendations, but utilize the services that are already set up from third-party agencies. We've got some really good agencies that are currently supporting our residents. But we are going to work on investigating home care. It's most likely going to be the summer, fall, when that happens. The last thing I think I have on my list, unless Susie tells me something different, is I'm going on vacation. Yeah, woohoo! Which means everybody else is going on vacation. So Angela is going on vacation tomorrow, right? Because you know why? Sunday's Angela's birthday.
And Arnie's.
And mine. But can we sing happy birthday? Let's do it. Ready? A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angela. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Many more. So I can tell out here who actually sings, because half those that don't are like, oh God, please stop. Please stop. But hey, happy birthday, Angela. So Angela's on vacation tomorrow through, come back Wednesday. So I leave next Friday. We're going to Costa Rica. Going to Costa Rica, yeah. So I think I shared with you, my dad passed away 11, 12 years ago, maybe 12 this year. And so my wife and daughter and I, at least every year, every 2 years, try to do something because we want to expose her to various cultures and things like that. So we're going to Costa Rica, leaving on Good Friday, and come back on the 24th. So I'll be gone Friday through the following week. My wife is very nervous because if you know anything about Costa Rica, supposedly they have monkeys. And we have been told that the monkeys can be very friendly. And my wife has told me if a monkey jumps on her shoulder, she's gone. And I've been told that monkeys will jump on your shoulder. So anyway, so hopefully we'll be back. But the reason I tell you that is Tiffany Robertson, who works for the Presbyterian Homes Management Service Office. I've known Tiffany for 20 plus years. She has been here on site for the last 3 months, ever since Missy left. And she's providing support services for our healthcare and even independent living. So when I'm gone, she's going to be here. She's still going to be here, but she may be going back and forth between Guilford and West, because here is my last favor that I'm going to ask of you that I need your help with. Donna Sprinkle is our Associate Executive Director. Donna's been with us for almost 10 years. She is going out tomorrow for back surgery. At 7:15 in the morning is when her surgery is. It's a 4 to 6 hour surgery. They're going in from the front and the back. It's serious. She is going to be okay, because I know she's going to be okay. But if you pray, if you reflect, if you just do moments of silence, whatever you do, I'm asking for focused prayers tomorrow at 7:15 for Donna Sprinkle. God bless you. And then I also want focused prayers for Donna Sprinkle's recovery, for a healthy, speedy recovery. Right now they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks. I did not realize this because Donna is one tough bird. She's been in pain for 8 years. And it's got to the point she has a hard time walking and standing for a long time. So she needs to do this. So I will be gone. Tiffany will be here. We've got a strong team that's here. You're in great hands. But you know I don't like to fly, so if you want to pray for me on Friday and Sunday, I appreciate that too. But now I'd like to open it up for any comments, questions, feedback, and we will see where we go. And like I said, I got a 4 o'clock board meeting, so I've got about 18 minutes. So raise your hand.
Does this work?
Yeah.
Something you said earlier made me wonder, is Julian leaving?
I hope not.
I think it's the maintenance thing.
Oh, man, thank you. Oh, okay, so is Julian leaving? No, Julian's not leaving. So we are hiring a director of maintenance. We don't currently have that position. Julian is our maintenance supervisor for the Guilford campus. And most of y'all remember Ricky Joe. Ricky Joe is our maintenance supervisor for the West campus. So we're hiring their boss.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. This is why I say one thing, and so thank you for asking that question.
Arnie, I'm in assisted living. Is there any way that we could get better quality food in the dining room there? It is just awful.
Yeah, I don't know. So what I will tell you is that as we're opening back up, we just opened up back to or started opening back up to our family members. I'll point this out to you. When we open up the bridge, especially, and we open up the other 2 dining venues, because I know you still get around. Maybe we want to talk about going over there and partaking in one of their meals, because you got to remember, if you get on the bus and you're good to go over there. Your meal is wherever you want to eat. It's covered under your monthly service fee. So whether you eat here, eat there. So if we're not hitting the mark here, then I don't know if I have a lot of hope that it's going to change that much. I hope we're still improving our consistency. I know we're still working on consistency, but the menu itself, consistently bad. But I hope then maybe what you can do is maybe we can try out the other venues, and maybe you may find that maybe more to your liking. And you know what? And when it opens up, and if you want to be my guest, I'll take you over there. We can have a little date, okay? We'll check it out.
In regard to the medical clinic, I understand the Piedmont Senior Care from Greensboro office has both campuses and does that. Is that by contract?
Yes.
And is it something we control, or is it somebody else controls?
Very good. Okay, so yes, we are under a contractual agreement between Friends Homes and Piedmont Senior Care. It's really twofold. One of them is the medical director piece. So Dr. Gupta is our medical director for Friends Homes. We pay a fee that covers her hours in our healthcare center. But as part of our relationship with Piedmont Senior Care, we've also asked for clinical support in independent living for West and Guilford. So in essence, what they've given us is a set amount of hours that is being supported by Dr. Gupta, soon to be also supported by Dr. Miller, who's coming back, Manzi, and we're going to be getting another nurse practitioner to give us overall coverage. Going into what you're saying, when I said things are changing, we don't have a lot to say other than like who comes in, who doesn't. They kind of direct that. We just have an overall arching hours concept. So right now they're giving us hours and they're telling us these are the people that are going to serve you for that relationship. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
You did answer my question. I use those services. I'm happy with those services. I don't have a complaint about that. I was just thinking about the future. If they decide they want to start squeezing down and coming to West or coming to Guilford only, then we do have some control over that contract toward the future, whatever future is that day. Am I correct in saying that?
You are correct. The way I'm going to just respond to that is all things are possible if you're willing to pay for it. That's all it is. That's all it is.
On assisted living, how about some elevators?
Okay.
We're gonna get them.
Okay. So
Will they ever run again?
is the elevator fried down?
About to
It
be
was
said.
last week, I believe, or earlier this week.
And they've been out all week.
Okay. I'm sorry they're down. I apologize. I didn't know the fry elevator was down. Right or wrong, the elevators, we have it here with Woman too. They're older. And so sometimes getting the parts and stuff like that are very hard. And so I hope it's fixed very soon. Meanwhile, is this elevator working again, please? Okay, good.
And I feel like they're waiting on a part.
Okay, so we're waiting on a part for it to be fixed. Putting another elevator in is not really feasible. So I'm so sorry that it's down. Hopefully it'll be up and running very soon. I apologize.
I understand that we've had a number of catalytic converters
Yes.
stolen off of
Yes.
cars lately.
Yes.
Is French Home relatively powerless to do anything about that?
You know what? Thank you. I meant to write this down because this came up at West too. So here's the story. I don't know if this went out in the Pulse or not. So here's the story about catalytic converters. Okay. So I got a peanut gallery talking to me. So it's going to take a village. Okay. Here's the thing. Literally, catalytic converters, 2 to 3 minutes can be taken. I've had people say we need more cameras. We're not a gated community. We're not going to be a gated community. You're going to have to be vigilant. What I mean by that is this. A lot of you do not drive your cars very often. So like at West, the way they're set up, they have one entrance. We have cameras that watch people come and go. But if you don't drive your car for a couple weeks and then you say my catalytic converter's gone, that doesn't do us any good. So there are ways that you can minimize being a target. There's things you can purchase to lock your catalytic converter. There's things you can do to engrave so that if someone tries to sell it, it makes it almost impossible. The way you park your car to make it less conducive for them to get in there, even parking under lights or whatever the case may be. But I know you know what's going on because y'all are always looking. It's that theory, if you see something, say something. We're in the process, once that bridge opens, to have a patrol, versus right now we use inside to also do our outside. But right now, if they go over to West, that 5 or 10, 15 minutes, that's all the person needs to come in, take a torch, it's gone. If you see somebody that does not look like they should be there or some weird, please call security. Call the command center, tell them something's going on. If you see someone actively stealing something, call 911. But it's going to take all of us to minimize this. Something is coming out in the Pulse to talk about ways to be less of a target, if you will, but it is a citywide issue. If they can steal in 2 to 3 minutes, there's not a lot we can do other than just be vigilant. And I'm so sorry because it's happening here, it's happening at West, but it's happening in a lot of places. And what the worst part is how much it costs to replace it versus what they're actually getting for it. They're only getting a couple $100 when they turn it in.
I wondered when the remodeling of the short hall and fry hall is going to begin.
You're converting the units into.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we're going to be converting, there's 8 rooms in Fry that we're going to turn in from kind of a single room into a 1-bedroom unit. And we hope that that will be utilized by couples that maybe want to live together, that are in assisted living, or in some cases where we have one of them is independent, another may be assisted living, they may want to live together. So it'll be a 1-bedroom unit. That project is going to start, we've already put the permits in. I hope it will start in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and it should be done hopefully by the end of September. Yeah, so good question. I'm sorry, I didn't know when you were saying that. Yeah, so, but they're not just for couples. So some people may want a larger unit, a 1-bedroom unit, so it'll be available to them as well. If they're really popular, we're gonna look at doing other ones as well.
I just want to put a plug in for the dining hall. I think that there are a lot of people that are very satisfied with it, and I think they're working hard to please us.
Thank you. Yeah, they are working very hard. One of the things we've been working on with the opening of the dining venues is continuing to try to give you opportunities, options, variety, and choice so that you can find that venue that meets your palate expectations. So thank you for saying that. I believe they are working hard. Thoughts? Can't tell someone's got Betty in the back.
Arnie, would you say something about personal privacy, and talking among ourselves and personal privacy, please?
Would you clarify that? I'm not catching what you're saying.
Personal privacy, like if somebody is ill, it is nobody's business but that person.
I got you. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so we, Friends Homes, talking about privacy, Friends Homes has to follow what's called HIPAA. We've heard this way too much. And what it means is your business is your business. And unless you give us direct permission to share something, like I shared all the stuff about Donna, she gave me permission to share that. We're not allowed to tell you squat. What hospital you're in, your condition, did you have a heart attack, did you just get a runny nose? Technically, we can be sued. Now, I don't get all that. So from an employee standpoint, a company standpoint, we have to have permission before we share anything. I think what Betty's speaking to is that, I'm gonna go back to the rumor mill, is that we always need to be respectful of people's personal information and not make assumptions of what is happening, whether it's an employee or a resident, what happened to them, what's going on with them, because people's business is their business. It's their story to tell. So I think what I'm saying, I'm gonna give a shout out, is that if please, as it comes to someone else, we don't need to share someone else's story. Let them share their own story. And if they want people to know about it, that would be their responsibility. Is that kind of it, Betty, for the most part? Okay. We all need to do a better job with that, right? So thank you for saying that. I've got about 7 minutes, so make them good. Make them good. I felt like there was a question. There's right there.
Those of us that might drive back and forth to West, is there going to be enough parking spaces?
Yes. I feel very confident that there will be enough parking places around the wellness center because we added a ton. I will be very transparent. I'm a little nervous around the dining venue, the Cobles, unless you're willing to go around back and walk in that way, because what a lot of residents at West do, believe it or not, if they're in a 1,000, 2,000 building, they get in their car and they drive over to the Cobles that we'll be driving over. So it gets a little tight at night. So I'm very confident, yes, at the Wellness Center and kind of behind the Wellness Center, but around the dining Cobles, I'll have to wait and see. We did add some spots, but we're also adding a lot of residents. So we'll have to wait and see. So, the company that we're going to be utilizing once Spectrum rolls out is called Single Digits. Single Digits. They used to be called Enviacom, and they got bought out right after we signed the contract with them by Single Digits. So Enviacom was pretty much known for their internet, and all they do is senior living internet. Single Digits does TV, and they do hospitality TV. So they partnered up to provide both, but it's Single Digits. But you may see a truck that says Enviacom because that's the old company.
I promised you a copy of what I would like for us to retain for the woods.
Oh, good.
I have it with me.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll get that as I'm running out. Any other last comments, suggestions, or otherwise? So I did not start with this, but I will end with this. 2022 is going to be an awesome year. It's going to be an awesome year. Y'all have been through a tremendous amount. You've sacrificed a lot. We have sacrificed a lot. Good things are here. Good things are coming. Hang on tight. I have ultimate confidence in our wellness team, our activity team, our dining team. Good things are coming. So just have fun. Get outside. Enjoy God's gift every day, especially today because it is beautiful. And pray for me. And pray for Donna. I should say pray for Donna first. And pray for me. But anyway, God bless you. Thank y'all so much. Yep.